Open your refrigerator door right now, and there is a good chance you are standing just a few inches away from the cheapest complete protein on earth. It is sitting quietly in a carton on the shelf, the same little food you have walked past 1,000 times. And here is what almost no one over 60 has been told. Gram for gram, the protein inside one of those plain eggs is judged by scientists to be just as complete as the protein in a steak, and in many measurements it scores even higher. When researchers needed a single food to use as the gold standard, the perfect ruler to measure every other protein in the world against, they did not choose beef. They did not choose chicken. They chose the egg. And it cost you only pennies. In the United States today, the protein in eggs runs you roughly 6 cents a gram, while the same gram of protein from lean ground beef can cost half again as much, sometimes far more. So the question I want to sit with you today is a simple one. Why are we paying so much more for meat, when a humble egg can feed an aging body just as well, and sometimes better? I am Dr. Grace Carter. For more than 17 years, I have worked in clinical nutrition and internal medicine, sitting across from men and women over 60 who told me the same quiet worry again and again. They said, "Doctor, I am trying to eat more protein. I know I am supposed to, but meat has gotten so expensive, and my budget only stretches so far." They were not making excuses. They were being honest about a real squeeze, and many of them were quietly eating less protein than their bodies needed because of it. So if that sounds at all like you, I want you to settle into your chair and stay with me, because what I am about to explain is simple, it is honest, and it could change the way you shop and eat for the rest of your life, without costing you a single extra dollar. Before we go further, if you find it helpful when a doctor explains things in plain, calm language without trying to sell you a pill or a powder, please take 1 second to tap like and subscribe. It genuinely helps me reach more older adults who need to hear this, and it costs you nothing at all. Now let me show you why the egg, of all foods, has quietly earned the title of the best protein bargain for an aging body. Let us start with what protein actually does for you, because once you understand this, everything else makes sense. Protein is the building material of your body. Your muscles are made of it. So is the collagen that holds your skin and your joints together, the antibodies that fight off infection, and many of the hormones that keep you steady and well. Now here is the part that matters so much after 60. As we age, our bodies become a little harder of hearing when it comes to protein. The same amount of food that built strong muscle in a 40-year-old simply does not spark as much muscle building in a 70-year-old. Scientists call this anabolic resistance. It means an older body needs protein that is high in quality, easy to absorb, and rich in the right ingredients, or that protein largely goes to waste. And this is exactly where the egg shines. Let me give you the picture. Imagine you are building a brick wall, and protein is the bricks. Not all bricks are the same. Some crumble in your hands. Some are missing corners and do not fit together. A complete protein is one where every single brick is whole, the right shape, and ready to use. Egg protein is as complete as protein gets. It contains all 9 of the essential amino acids, the building blocks your body cannot make on its own and must get from food, and it delivers them in almost perfect balance. That is why the egg became the reference standard. On the scale scientists call biological value, which measures how efficiently your body actually uses a protein, whole egg was set right at the very top, at 100. Everything else is measured against the egg. I know some of you have heard the word meat and thought, surely a steak is better, it is bigger, it is heartier, it costs more, so it must be superior. Let me gently put that idea to rest. On the modern scoring systems doctors and food scientists use to rank protein quality, the egg sits at the top of the class, shoulder to shoulder with the best cuts of meat and ahead of many plant proteins. The cow does not give your body anything the egg cannot when it comes to the core job of feeding and repairing your muscle. What the egg adds is that it does the same job for a fraction of the price, in a form that is gentle, soft, and easy for older teeth and older stomachs to handle. And for many of my patients, that gentleness matters as much as the cost. Now let me tell you about one of those patients, because she taught me something I have never forgotten. I will call her Eleanor. She was 74, recently widowed, and living on a fixed income that did not leave much room at the end of the month. When I asked about her meals, she looked a little ashamed and told me she had mostly given up meat because it had simply become too expensive, and she was filling up on toast and tea instead. Her blood work showed it, and so did her body. She was losing muscle. She felt weak rising from a chair, and she had started to fear falling. I did not lecture her. I simply asked her to do one thing: 2 eggs every morning, cooked however she liked, plus whatever else she could manage through the day. Eggs were something she could actually afford. A carton lasted her a week and cost less than a single cut of meat. When she came back to see me a couple of months later, she had more color in her face, she was steadier on her feet, and she told me, almost in tears, that for the first time in a long while, she did not feel like she was failing her own body. That is the quiet power of an affordable protein. It is only good for you if you can actually buy it and eat it day after day. So let us talk about that cost, plainly, because it is the heart of why I made this video. When you walk through a grocery store, meat looks like the serious protein and eggs look like the cheap afterthought. But if you do the math the way a nutrition scientist does, by the cost of each gram of actual protein you put into your body, the picture flips. In recent United States pricing, a gram of protein from eggs costs you somewhere around 6 cents. A gram of protein from regular ground beef costs noticeably more, and the leaner, pricier cuts of beef climb higher still. So when you choose eggs, you are very often getting the same complete top-quality protein for considerably less money. Over a month, over a year, on a fixed income, that difference is not small. That is grocery money you keep, while your muscles are fed just as well. Now, I want to be completely honest with you, because honesty is the whole reason I make these videos. There are 1 or 2 foods, like plain dried lentils, that come out even cheaper per gram than eggs on paper. But lentils are not a complete protein on their own. They are missing some of the essential building blocks, and an aging body does not absorb plant protein as easily as it absorbs the protein in an egg. So when I say the egg is the cheapest protein that truly beats meat, I mean the cheapest complete animal quality, easy to absorb protein you can put on your plate. Among the proteins that genuinely match meat for feeding your muscle, nothing is kinder to your wallet than the egg. Now let me show you the special ingredient that makes the egg so good at protecting an older body, because this is where it goes beyond just being cheap. Inside that egg protein is an amino acid called leucine. If protein building were a light switch in your muscle, leucine is the finger that flips it on. It is the trigger that tells your aging muscle, it is time to build and repair. And remember what I said about anabolic resistance, how older muscle is a little hard of hearing. Leucine is the one that raises its voice loud enough for your muscle to listen. A single large egg gives you about half a gram of leucine, and a couple of eggs together start to reach the kind of amount that research suggests an older body needs at a meal to truly switch on muscle building. This is one big reason eggs punch so far above their price. They do not just give you protein, they give you the very key that unlocks the door. And there is a second gift hidden in that yolk, one that has nothing to do with muscle, and that most people throw away when they toss the yolk in the bin. It is a nutrient called choline. Choline is something your brain and your nerves depend on, and it plays a real role in memory and in clear thinking. Many older adults do not get nearly enough of it, and it is genuinely hard to find in everyday foods. One large egg gives you around 147 milligrams of choline, which makes the humble egg one of the richest and most affordable sources of this brain nutrient on the entire shelf. So when you eat a whole egg, you are not only feeding your muscles for pennies, you are also quietly feeding your brain. That is a remarkable amount of value from one small, inexpensive food. Now, I cannot talk about eggs without talking about the thing that has frightened seniors away from them for 40 years, and that is cholesterol. For decades, eggs were treated almost like a danger food because the yolk contains cholesterol, and we were all told to keep that number low. I understand completely if that warning is sitting in the back of your mind right now. But I want you to hear what the science actually says today, because the story has genuinely changed. For most people, the cholesterol you eat in food has only a modest effect on the cholesterol in your blood. Your own liver makes most of the cholesterol in your body, and when you eat a little more, it simply makes a little less to balance things out. The understanding became clear enough that the National Dietary Guidelines, the official advice that shapes what doctors recommend, dropped the old strict daily limit on dietary cholesterol that had stood for years. The bigger drivers of unhealthy blood cholesterol turned out to be other things in the diet, like certain saturated and processed fats, not the egg itself. So for most healthy older adults, an egg or 2 a day fits comfortably into a sensible diet. That is not me being reckless. That is the direction the evidence has moved. But, and this is important, that does not mean eggs are right for absolutely everyone without a second thought, and this is the part where I need you to listen closely. If you have been told you have very high cholesterol, or familial high cholesterol that runs strongly in your family, or if you live with diabetes or established heart disease, then your situation is more individual, and some people in those groups are more sensitive to the cholesterol in food than others. If that is you, please do not simply start eating several eggs a day on my word. Bring this video and this question to your own doctor and let them look at your numbers and your history and tell you what is right for your body. The same goes for anyone with a true egg allergy, which is obvious, and for anyone with serious kidney disease, where the total amount of protein you eat needs to be managed carefully with your doctor, because for you, more protein is not automatically better. Please never change your medication or ignore your doctor's advice based on a video. I am here to inform you, not to replace the person who knows your body. Now, for everyone for whom eggs are a good fit, let me give you the practical part, the how, because the details make a real difference. First, eat the whole egg, yolk and all. So much of the value, the choline, the vitamin D, the healthy fats, the fat-soluble vitamins, lives in that golden yolk. Throwing it away to eat only the white means throwing away much of what makes the egg special. Second, think about how you cook them, because that matters more than the egg itself. An egg gently boiled, poached, or scrambled in just a little good oil is a wonderful thing. An egg drowned in butter and fried beside several strips of fatty, salty, processed meat is a different story, and it is usually that company the egg keeps, not the egg itself, that causes trouble. So keep the cooking simple and clean. Let me also walk you through the common mistakes I see, so you can avoid them. The first mistake is eating all your protein at one meal, usually dinner, and almost none at breakfast. An aging body uses protein best when you spread it through the day, so a couple of eggs in the morning is a perfect way to give your muscles an early, quality start, instead of leaving them waiting until evening. The second mistake is treating eggs as your only protein. Eggs are a wonderful, affordable foundation, but variety matters, so let them sit alongside fish, beans, yogurt, and yes, meat when you can afford and enjoy it. The egg is here to stretch your budget and never let your protein run short, not to be the only thing on your plate. And the third mistake is buying the most expensive specialty eggs you can find, thinking you must, when for the core protein and the leucine and the choline we have talked about, a plain, ordinary, inexpensive egg gives your body very nearly all the same good. The bargain is the whole point. Do not spend it away. Here is the one simple habit that turns all of this into something you actually do, instead of something you merely heard. Attach your eggs to a meal you already eat every single day, and the easiest one is breakfast. You already make your morning tea or coffee, so let the kettle going on be your signal to put 2 eggs on as well. You are not adding a new chore to your day. You are adding a quiet bit of protein and brain food to a moment that already exists. Do that every morning, and without any effort or expense, you will have given your aging muscles a strong, affordable start before the day even begins. And here is a small bonus that stacks right on top. When you eat your eggs, pair them with something colorful, a tomato, some spinach folded into the scramble, half an orange on the side, or a slice of whole grain toast. The egg brings the complete protein and the leucine to switch on your muscle, and the vegetable or fruit brings the fiber, the vitamin C, and the antioxidants that help your body use that protein and protect your blood vessels at the same time. 2 simple foods, pennies apiece, working together. That is the kind of quiet, affordable wisdom that keeps a person strong and independent for years. So let me bring this all together for you. The dangerous mistake so many seniors make is quietly eating too little protein because good meat has grown so expensive. But you do not need expensive meat to feed an aging body well. The egg is a complete protein, scored by scientists at the very top of the scale, the same gold standard they measure all other proteins against. It is rich in leucine, the amino acid that switches on muscle building in an older body, and rich in choline, the nutrient that quietly feeds your brain. And it does all of this for only a few cents a gram, often well below the cost of the very meat it can stand in for. It costs you almost nothing. It asks almost nothing of you. And it may help protect the very things you most want to keep as you age, your strength, your steadiness, your clear mind, and your freedom to live on your own terms, all without stretching your budget 1 inch further. If this was helpful to you, and you would like more simple, honest explanations like this one, please subscribe and join us here. This channel exists to help you eat well, stay strong, and live independently well past 60 without spending a fortune to do it. and I would be honored to be a small part of that journey. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you in the next one. A quick and important note. This video is for general educational purposes only, and it is not medical advice. If you have very high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, kidney disease, or any other specific condition, please speak with your own qualified healthcare provider before making changes to your diet or your medications. Your doctor knows your body, so bring this idea to them and let them help you use it safely.